are gonna win today. We are so excited to be back at the Little Something Extra podcast with me, Nancy Gianni, and my daughter,
the GiGi of this Playhouse.
The GiGi of Gigi's Playhouse. And who else do we have with us today?
Tom Ricketts.
Well, who's sitting behind you?
Franco.
And me. I am the Franco Gianni, and I am the executive producer of the Little Something Extra podcast, and I'm going to be joining them today and maybe a recurring guest in the future. We shall see how people like me. So we're going to have to do some reviews after this.
Yeah. You think they're going to like them?
Yes.
Or are they going to say, just the GiGi, please?
Yeah.
They're going to kick, you know, Franco, they're probably going to kick both of us off. They're going to be
the
like,
GiGi
can
podcast.
we just have her?
You
Can you imagine?
Use the marker G to write, and the
Franco.
executive producer,
No.
Franco Gianni. No? I don't want to step on your swag, girl.
Yeah.
Let's start this party with reminding everybody what a little something extra is. Everybody is born with a little something extra, and sometimes they just have to find it. Franco, what do you think your little something extra is?
Okay, well, way to put me on the spot. Okay, what is my
You're
little
sitting
something
at the
extra?
table, you are in the hot spot.
I'm in the hot seat. Okay. My little something extra is every day I like to go out into the world and make sure I can make a positive impact on someone in any way, shape, or form. I think that's come from just being a part of GiGi's and seeing this organization and how it operates for so long. So I think that's something that I kind of taken out of that. So yeah, I like to go out and try to make a positive impact on someone's life and try to make their day just a little bit better. And I think that allows me to know that I'm making the world a better place in even the smallest way. I think any type of impact makes, like we say, a ripple effect. So
Yeah.
I think that's probably it.
That's awesome. And it's great that you can recognize that you have a superpower. All of us have them. We were all born with them. Sometimes we just have to find them. And then when we do find them, we have to recognize that and realize that like with Franco, just doing a good deed every day could change your life. It could make you a happier person. So I love that you actually recognize that. Jade, what do you think your superpower is?
I think my superpower is being team player.
Being a team player.
I
Well,
agree.
that's a good one because our guest today owns a big, huge team,
Right.
the Chicago Cubs. Tom
Yes,
Ricketts
Tom
is our
Ricketts.
guest today, and we're really, 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 really excited about that. But before we get started on that awesome interview that we're so excited about, we want to give today's ripple effect. So Franco, you actually talked about ripple effect a minute ago. A ripple effect is a small act, whether it be of kindness or a physical act, whatever it is, that grows into something bigger and bigger and really helps to make the world a better place. So
Yeah.
what ripple effect are you here to tell us about today?
I am here to talk about what Barstool Sports and what Dave Portnoy are actually doing to cause waves throughout the world. I think what you said with making the world a better place right now is a time that we absolutely need to make the world a better place because of with the uncertainty with COVID and just what's happening throughout our country and throughout the world. There's a lot of ways to get distracted and discouraged about things that's going on. But like I said, with Barstool and with Dave, is that they are, and if you don't know about Barstool, they are a digital media company that covers sports and popular culture, and then and have a massive following. And I think I think Dave and that brand they wanted to give back to the community in some way that were being affected by COVID. And what they wanted to do is they started something called the Barstool Fund. And they wanted to raise $4 million for small businesses around the country because, as we know, a lot of small businesses are either going under or are really struggling right now to find ways to stay afloat.
Totally.
And so, like, they have that massive following of, I think, something over 100 million people followed their different social media accounts. So in order to use and leverage that, they wanted to raise $4 million to go back to small businesses around the country. And as of right now, I believe that fund over the last month that it's been around is already amassed amount of $20 million.
Oh my God.
And I believe they've helped like 92 different small businesses around the country, just handing them $20,000 checks to be like, here you go. This is whatever you need. And I think stuff like that is the type of things that we need to see more of in this world, because there's a lot of people out there that have these incredible followings and are just so I don't think they necessarily I think they take for granted how much they have and how much they can actually make an impact without necessarily going out and doing it. And the fact that they noticed that and they picked up on it and they went out and tried to make a difference shows how it can be done.
So I love that ripple effect story, Franco. That's
Right.
exactly what it's all about. One small act of kindness, one idea can be grown into something so much bigger. So thank you so much for sharing that with us today.
Yeah.
And now let's get on with this party. What's going on, Gigi?
Woohoo! Yes, I'm excited. Our guest today has become quite the force in Chicago. We are Tom Ricketts, my Cubs boy. Woo!
Your Cubs boy. Woo! Nice. Okay. Thanks, Gigi. We are so excited to have him. Tom is the executive chairman of the Chicago Cubs and a longtime fan of the team. He lived just steps away from the field when he was in college and even went on to meet his wife there. In 2009, he led his family purchase of the team from the Tribune Company. Their goal from day one was to win a World Series. Check. We did that in 2016 and are serious contenders every year since. Improve Wrigley Field? Check. If any of our listeners are in the area and haven't been to Wrigley lately, you have to check it out. It is amazing. And their third was to be good neighbors and give back. I'd say check on that too. It's absolutely amazing what's been done over there. We'll talk to Tom more in a minute about philanthropy, the Cubs, the Ricketts family, and more. We are so grateful for all they have done. He's also an established businessman. He co-founded In Capital, a renowned investment bank, and so many other things. This is just the tip of the iceberg. But we really just want to get this interview started so he could tell us more about his amazing life.
It's Tom Ricketts.
Tom Ricketts, woo-woo! Tom, the CEO and chairman of the Chicago Cubs, and so much more. But thank you so much for being here with us today.
Hi, good morning. It's great to be here.
How are you doing, Tom?
You know, I'm doing really, really well. Obviously, it's been a really difficult time for so many people, but I'm looking forward to 2021 and and getting things back on track.
Me too.
Absolutely. Me too.
How are the Cubs players doing?
I think it's been okay. Obviously, it was a very strange year for them to be playing games without any fans in the ballpark. And and they had to do their tests every day, every other day. They were had to be very, very careful. They couldn't go out at night, so it was a long summer for those guys. Now they've all gone home, and now they're looking to get back to spring training coming up pretty soon here.
Woo-woo.
Oh, yeah. We're excited to see them get back on the field.
That's
I know I
right.
am.
Do you remember when I sang the National Anthem?
Well, how could I forget when you sang the national anthem? It was really well done.
Thank
And
you.
we'll have to have you back to do it again soon. It was one of the highlights of the year. So let's have you back soon to do that again, okay, Gigi?
Okay.
I think our hearing that was a highlight every day.
Yeah, that was definitely the best day of her life,
It is.
wasn't it?
Yes. Do they miss me when I sing to them?
Yeah, they missed you when you sang to
course.
them.
Everyone been singing to them. We have to have you come back and do it all over again.
That's right. We will make it happen.
We
And
will.
Tom, what I loved about you even giving her that opportunity is that you understood that how hard it is for individuals with Down syndrome. They have that low muscle tone. Your tongue is a muscle. How hard it is for her to sing that. And it took her 12 years. She memorized the song in just a matter of days. But in order for her to properly articulate the words, get all the air out, build her core, and be able to belt out that song like that, took her years and years and years of hard work. So I can't even tell you, for you to give her that platform in front of 40,000 people means more to us than you will ever know. That is honestly the highlight of her life. So thank you so much for that. That was truly a gift.
No, it was wonderful. It's a hard song to sing for everybody.
It
And
truly is.
Definitely.
Did a beautiful job, and hopefully you guys can come back soon and do it again.
That's awesome. Well, we would love to. And now we want to talk a little bit about you, brother. In Chicago, you're known of, the owner of the Cubs. I lost my identity. I'm Gigi's mom. I'm not Nancy Gianni. I got nothing else. You are the owner of the Cubs. But you have done so much in your life. Like I was fascinated reading about you and your upbringing because, you think, oh my gosh, he's owner of the Cubs. He's had everything. Everything came easy. But you've worked so hard for everything that you've done. And I would just love for you to tell our viewers a little bit about your background and your family.
Yeah, I grew up in a very regular kind of family in Nebraska, except that my dad was a really amazing entrepreneur. And when I was very small, he started a company that ultimately grew into be called Ameritrade,
So
and now is going to be part of Charles Schwab going forward. But what I remember most about those days was just we had just a really nice family, extended family, lots of cousins, lots of family time, and my dad just working every day. I mean, just working as hard as he could every day. We were just one of those entrepreneur families where we never ever went on a vacation. Dad just worked, and obviously his hard work paid off for us. Hopefully, some of that work ethic was passed along to all of his kids. I think all of us, my brothers and I, and my sister, have all been had pretty productive and successful lives on our own, and it really was a special upbringing, and really a gift.
Having him as an example has just led you to probably want to be that same type of example to your own kids.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. I mean, you do take away a lot from your parents, and you want to emulate those things which you think made you the person that you are. And I think it would, in the case of my dad, and my mom as well, it's basically the family is the most important thing. And then when it comes to your career, just find something you're passionate about and just really work as hard as you can to achieve as much as you can. And if you're doing that, then you're always going to get out of bed with a smile on your face and a spring in your step, and you're going to care about life. And that's what's really important. And I have 5 kids, and I hope that each of them will pick up something that they're passionate about, and will be successful in each of their own ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Are they all Cubs? Are they always at the games? Do they all go to the games? Do they live local?
Well, yeah, they're all pretty local for the most part. Got a couple away at college from time to time, but they're at a lot of games. Oh yeah,
Awesome.
oh yeah, they like coming to the games, and that's one of the nice things about a baseball team is it really is a social sport. It's the sport you want to go to when you want to be with the people you're with. Like
Right.
it's the part you want to talk to someone and be with someone for a day. Baseball is the best option because you can sit and talk throughout the game. And there's a lot of excitement, but there's also a lot of time where you can catch up on things in your life. And so one of the reasons my family was so excited about the opportunity to get involved with the Cubs was it could always be a family gathering place. And so we use it for that every day.
I love that.
Absolutely.
And I love that. This year, obviously, 2020 and our Cubbies, that was so, I can't even begin to tell you what it was like, how normal, when the Cubs finally started playing again. I know that you didn't have the fans, you didn't have anything else, but to have it on in our house again, just to have that background, to hear the Cubs playing again, brought so much normalcy during a time of so much uncertainty. It was so awesome. I don't know. I would love to know how it was for you guys on the back end of that. But I could just say, as a fan, of forever, a lifelong Cubs fan, how good it felt to have you guys back and making us feel like, okay, we're going to get through this. We're going to be okay. Just, we've got our Cubbies back. Things are starting to get back. Life is starting to look good again.
Yeah, well, obviously it was very weird in Wrigley Field. Wrigley Field, the team obviously is the main attraction, but the crowd and the people, that's really part of the whole thing. It's not really a game without the crowd. And so walking around in an empty stadium was just sad,
Oh.
and you know me, and I walk around every game and I talk to fans every game. Like my favorite part of the game day experience is the people, and there was no people. And even our Cubs baseball staff who had to watch, they're watching the games, they all sat like 8 or 10 feet apart. So no one was even making any small talk at all. So it was tough. And I'm really looking forward to the upcoming season and hopefully getting back to as much normalcy as we can at the ballpark.
Definitely. And I think one of the things that you said is just like that, in that whole like emotion and just the camaraderie that's inside of Wrigley Field. That's really one of the best parts about that organization, is how unbelievable the fan base is and just the history behind all of it. And really my question for you is, I know that you bought the team back in 2009, but what was it that drew you to the Chicago Cubs? And because I know you're from Nebraska, you're not even originally from Chicago. I know you live in Chicago now, but what was it that really drew you to that organization?
Well, I kind of think like we have three kinds of Cub fans.
Yeah.
We have the largest one is, of course, the people born in Chicago,
Of course.
where their parents raised them to be Cub fans. We have, just that's our biggest base and our deepest, most passionate fans, like me. And then we have like a lot of people around the country who watch the Cubs on WGN. And we had a national broadcast. It was a daytime broadcast. A lot of people, when they got home from school, they could flip on the TV. It was the soundtrack of their summer, and they became Cub fans, even though they lived all over the country. And I have a little bit of that, but I'm kind of the third fan. I moved here in 1983 to go to college. Moved to Chicago in 1983, and I kind of liked the Cubs, and I kind of liked some other teams, but I wasn't as deeply passionate about any one team.
Yeah.
But then when I walked into Wrigley Field and spent my first day in the bleachers, I was like, this is the team I want to root for. These are the people I want to be with. This is my new community. And so a huge part of our fan base is people that have moved to Chicago, come to Wrigley Field, or just visited Wrigley Field and decided that, this is home for me. And this is the team I'm going to cheer for. And I'm kind of in that category.
That's so cool.
It's very true.
I love that because it is so true. There's nothing like being there. There's nothing
there
like
isn't.
like a Cubs fan and being in the stadium. I mean, like, it's
And I think
amazing.
that's kind of what drew me over, because I was raised a Sox fan because of my dad, because his whole
We
family
are a
was-
divided family,
we
Tom.
are a
I told you.
divided
Yeah.
family. He was from, his dad's from the south side of Chicago. And yeah, I mean, raised, saw the World Series 2005. And then really once I finally got exposed to the Cubs, and also when Cubs charities kind of came on to support GiGi's Playhouse, that was really when I kind of made that transition, just because the organization, it's just, in my opinion, just so much more fun. It's a family, in my
It
opinion,
is a
as a
family.
whole fan base, as the organization wide. So
And I think that's so much what you brought back. Like, I cannot believe the renovations that you guys have done there and how you've changed the whole feeling, the whole setting. I love when you go there, even when the Cubs aren't playing. It's a destination on the outside. You don't have to go inside. You don't have to pay any money. You've got that big screen out there. You have so much for the community. That to me really showed that not only did you love the Cubs, but you love Chicago. You love the neighborhood and you wanted to make it better. It's just, I think it's awesome to go there and I told my nieces and nephews, I'm like, we can go there even when the Cubs aren't playing because they're constantly just having
so built up.
movies going. And it's amazing what you guys have done.
Well, the ballpark was initially built in 1914, and there hadn't really been any significant renovations to it since maybe the 40s. Little bits here and there. It really needed a lot of work. We knew the ballpark needed work, and then we also wanted to, make our mission to make the whole day at the ballpark better. And that from the moment you get off the train, and that also meant making it more family friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I have 5 children. I think when we bought the team, my oldest was 12, or maybe 13. And so, if you're coming to the Wrigley area with 5 kids, it's kind of tough. If you have 5 fraternity brothers, it's all built for speed. You got lots of options. But we really wanted to make it more family friendly with more options for the game day. And then we also defined our mission even a little broader to make it a year-round place where people would have something to do and a way to be comfortable. And so, fortunately, we have that little space off to the west side of the park that we built into Gallagher Way, which is a great plaza. Which, some mornings you come by and it's a moms and tots class from the Old Town School of Folk Music, and some mornings you come by it's yoga. Some mornings you come by and it's a movie. Just try to keep something happening and really give back to the neighborhood on non-game days.
Yeah.
So it's been really well received. We're very proud of it. Obviously this year it was tough, but hopefully we'll get all that programming back in the future soon.
Yeah, and there was so
Absolutely.
much positive energy around it. That's what I love. So much positive energy, whether it was game day or not.
What I think that Wrigley Field, once you're inside, it's your happy place.
Yes.
Everybody. But for a long time, like the outside, it just got worse and worse. And there was these beautiful features that were put in the 20s and 30s that when they kind of deteriorated, they were replaced with precast concrete or chain link fence. And I think, one of the things that I'm most proud of is we restored the outside of Wrigley Field to what it looked like in 1935, which our historical architects believe was really the year when Wrigley was at its best, at its peak, at its best looking. So so now we have a little more work to do. We're going to bring in some cool lighting to kind of accentuate some of the features, but it really is just that warm, beautiful building that means so much to so many people, all restored to the way it should look.
Yeah.
So we're very proud.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, like, I live in Lakeview, and so I always like go down just to Wrigley Field. Even during COVID, it was nice too, because it was kind of an escape, because like when you're kind of trapped at home all day, and the way that it's been built out now, that it actually is kind of just a spectacle to actually go to. So now I would go out and I'd go run, and I'd go around just the stadium. I'd hang out by Gallagher Way and kind of just have like a cup of coffee, sit down, and actually be able to just hang out. Even when the Cubs were playing, I would still go there and actually hang out in front of it and just kind of like just try to just take in the energy, because it really is there. And the way that you've been able to encapsulate that and really and revive it is, I think, why the organization has taken such an unbelievable turn over the course of the last 11 years, 12 years.
It's for sure a destination.
Yes, and I do thank you for that, because it definitely needed to happen. And I'm happy that it's happening at this point in my life where I could really enjoy it when I'm living in Chicago.
Yeah. Now I want to talk a little bit about philanthropy, because that's how we finally got to meet you, was through Cubs Cares and the McCormick Foundation, when you gave GiGi's Playhouse like one of our first grants when we first started out, which was so amazing. And again, like I told you when I spoke at their first event, it was so awesome coming from a divided family where my husband's a Sox fan and I'm a Cubs fan, and I have the Cubs giving us money. I have had that upper hand now. So thank God you did it first, because your whole house has been converted. He wears the Cubs stuff. It's been awesome, brother. That was like the money was fantastic, but the credibility you gave to the Gianni household as Cubs are number one was amazing. So I have to thank you on that one. But what are you most proud of? I mean, you guys do a lot in the area of philanthropy. What are you most proud of that you guys are doing and continuing to do?
Thanks for asking. And by the way, congratulations on all of your success. And I know how passionate you are, of course, but just everything you've done and your whole team. It's really inspiring, and congratulations on everything you've done. I think there's a couple of things I'm really proud of. One is when we bought the team, there was a pretty good, sincere, but relatively small effort in the charity department. We had Cubs Care, which of course you're a grant recipient, and that was basically, it's a program that gives to worthy organizations throughout the city, and it's matched by McCormick Places, McCormick Foundation, and so. It's a nice thing. It gets a lot of people involved, and we give a lot to a lot of great organizations. But we really didn't have any of our own signature type programs. And so I think if there's two things I'm proud of, one is that we've started our own programs where we could do Cubs Scholars, which helps kids who are trying to afford college. Help them. We give them a mentor, and we help them get into college and help them stay in college, and both financially and with the personal assistance of one of our associates. We have the Diamond Project, we call it, which has now built or rebuilt, 100 and some ballparks around the city. So if you have a little league field, or even a non-baseball field that needs a renovation, and sometimes they're relatively large checks that you apply, and we help you there. And then we have Cubs Junior All-Stars, as we call it, but basically little league programs that we support all over the city. And I think one way or another, I think we impacted 20,000 young boys and girls in programs throughout the city last year. Something, I forget the numbers, but anyway. And then I'm also proud of the fact that when we bought the team, we did a lot in the neighborhood, and we still do a lot in the neighborhood. We have a grant to every school within a certain radius of the park and all that. But I really wanted our people to think like, we're not the Wrigley Cubs, we're not the North Side Cubs, we're the Chicago Cubs. So one of the emphasis that we've had over the years is to make sure that we're touching every neighborhood, to do something all over the city. Not every neighborhood needs the same things, but we're really focused on like making sure that we spread our community work throughout the entire city, and I'm very, very proud of that. So it's been we have great leaders. Alicia Gonzalez, who runs our programs now, is incredible. She's done a great job. And we have some other big projects coming along. So we're really excited about keeping our community efforts growing.
I love it. And I know that you do a lot with people with special needs, and you do a lot for people with disabilities in general. Can you just give us a couple examples of how the Cubs organization advocates for inclusion, whether it's through your charities or through your employees?
Well, we do a lot through charities, and we do look for opportunities to hire people with certain challenges that can help out on game days. I think that, another thing that gets overlooked is, Wrigley Field was built in 1914. In our renovations, you can never make it perfect, at least not a 1914 ballpark, but doing everything we can to add all the elevators and ramps and other things that people need just to get around the ballpark. Because baseball is a social sport. You want to have people in the ballpark, and you want to have everybody in the ballpark. So I'm really, proud of the way we've made it more accessible, and everything we do for all the people that have different challenges than we do.
Yeah. And we love it because we've been a recipient, and we've in many different ways. We've been able to partner with you guys. So thank you so much for that. And thank you for recognizing the need for that. And I just think it's such a big piece. And some people, you walk the walk, you talk the talk and you walk the walk. Some people say it and they're not necessarily doing it. So I just want to thank you for that, because that's really an important piece to me.
Yeah, I think GiGi would probably want to thank you too, because when it comes to all the opportunities that you've been able to present, I know that GiGi's definitely been able to benefit in the way that she loves the most. Gigi, right?
Right. Yes, she's looking at her part. I'll let you ask your questions in 2 minutes. Let me just finish. I promise I'll finish. She's just dying to get to her questions.
No, I'm just practicing.
You're practicing.
She's running it through her head.
She's ready. So let me just get to these really fast. So you talked about your dad founding Ameritrade, which I just think is so cool and would have been just so awesome growing up just with that entrepreneurial spirit and watching him go. I think my kids probably feel what that looks like, where you're just, you have such passion and focus on one thing and you make it happen. Is that what inspired you to open In Capital, that your business that you started?
Yeah, certainly in part. I think that when it was time for me, I was working in a larger firm and realizing that wasn't really going to be as fulfilling as I would hoped it would be. And it seemed like it made sense to start my own company, our own company. I think it gave me confidence that I could do it, because I think a lot of times people they know what they want to do, they think they can do it, but they're just a little not quite sure. And when you've seen someone else as close to you as your own father do it, it gives you the confidence, and you think, well, if I just work hard enough and try to make good, steady decisions, I'll be okay too. And so I think that was a big part of it. Sure.
I think that's Absolutely. So cool, because this is called A Little Something Extra with Nancy and the GiGi. I got to make sure. And it's about what fuels your passion. What is your something extra? What fuels your passion and motivation? What is it that gives you that drive? That's something extra. And sometimes, all of us are kind of born with it, and sometimes we just have to find it. So hearing, you talking about that today can inspire somebody else to find their something extra, to not be afraid to try something new. And that's what we're all about. So what do you think is your something extra? What drives your passion and your motivation?
It's interesting. Like when I talk to business school students or other business groups and young people, I always say, find out what makes you emotionally rewarded. What makes you happy. And for some people, it's the ability to solve a complex problem with a spreadsheet, or to crunch numbers in the right way. For some people, it's really high level strategy. For some people, there's a lot of different things. For me, I'm really a people person. I really enjoy I enjoy seeing people happy. And even if I was in the financial markets, it is about people and getting on the road, and you call it sales, but I don't really think of it as sales. I think of it as helping people. And so at least, for all the years that I was focused mainly on In Capital, that was it. It was like, hey, we have some ideas that can really help companies be more efficient. And if they're more efficient, they'll be able to grow, and they'll be able to create more jobs. And we can help investors do things that help them too. And if they're better off, then they'll have better retirements and they'll have better lives. So, there really is there's an element of just, just doing the right thing and making people happy. And if you're doing that, and if that's core to your person, then it doesn't really work. It's what you want to do.
Yeah.
On the baseball stuff, I look at, when we got involved with the Cubs, it was obviously about winning. A fan base who had given, so much love for so many years to the team and never rewarded, never, like so many years there was no hope. Like it was like
Right.
you showed up, you enjoyed the ballpark, and that was about all you had.
Yeah.
The thought of being able to be even a little part of something where you could really turn that around was just really compelling. And and then on a day-to-day basis, I just like being at the park and talking to people. That kind of motivates me to make sure that we're doing everything we can to make it a great experience for everyone.
Absolutely.
awesome.
And I think that's great too, that what drives your passion when it comes to on the business aspect also then tied into the fact that what you did organizationally with the Cubs kind of meshed together. Because I know in 2016 when they won that World Series, that happiness that you brought to all of these fans
Oh my
after
gosh.
all of these years, I mean, that was really, I'm sure for you, that was probably one of the most rewarding experiences
Insane. That was
could have possibly have
insane.
happened.
Of course, of course, it'll always be one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. And the thing that I think I like the most about it is, like, when someone comes up and tells you, they come up and tell you that, oh, yeah, I saw the Cubs win the World Series, but they don't just tell you that. They tell you where they were. Of course, I was at home, I was at a game, I was at a bar, or whatever. But the thing that always impacts me is, like, they tell you who they were with. Like, and that's the key. Like,
Yeah.
I was, people come up, the last couple of years, people haven't come as often, but those first few years after we won, people will come up to me in bars or restaurants or the airport or whatever. And he'd be like, hey, I just want you to know I was with my dad, or something like that. And that's the stuff that, like, that really moves you.
Yeah,
Of course.
for
course.
sure.
I
I felt
know.
like GiGi is wearing Grandpa's Chicago Cubs jacket, and he had died right before you guys went. I mean, he was a diehard fan. So I always hope that he had a little bit of something to do with getting those 2016 wins in there, because he was definitely one of the biggest people up there celebrating in heaven. I'll tell you that. The first
Absolutely.
year he missed the Cubs is the year that they won. So I think he might have been helping you a little bit. That's what I'm hoping.
And well, and I think, like, that's the thing that I've always been really amazed by, is that your baseball team really is kind of a member of your family,
Mm-hmm.
in a sense, and because it ties people together across generations, and obviously baseball is a sport where you can go with your grandpa. Like, I'm not sure that you can do that at every other type of sport,
Right.
but and I remember on the bus we did the parade and we pulled out of Wrigley Field, and I'm holding the trophy for a while, then we pass it on to the bus behind us. We were right on Addison and like Broadway as we're pulling toward Lakeshore Drive. And there was a little kid with a sign sitting on his dad's shoulders that said, "Grandpa, we did it."
Oh,
And that kind of sums up, it
That's
just kind of sums
unbelievable.
up how he's across generations,
that is so
course.
awesome. I
It
love
is.
that. Oh, I love it. All right. So tell me, what is the legacy you want to leave behind for your children? How do you want them to remember their father? What do you want people to remember when they talk about Tom Ricketts?
Well, I think for my kids, it's like, I want them to always feel like I was there for them and supported them in whatever they wanted to do. Hopefully, I have a terrific wife, Cece, who's, got to be one of the top 10 moms in the whole world.
Oh, that's
She
awesome.
does a great job with the kids. And, I just want, them to remember that we supported them, and whatever they decide to do is great with us, as long as they're passionate about it and they work hard at it. And, and that's what it's about. Like, it's not about, like, did you get a job that paid you a lot, or do you have a title that means a lot to you? It's like, do you feel like you're creating something in the world that's valuable? And if they all feel like they're doing that, then we'll have felt like we're successful parents.
That is awesome.
Amen.
That is awesome. All right,
is.
Gigi, you finally get your boy back.
Yay.
Yay.
She's all excited.
She's been waiting. She's had her questions
Been
for you.
practicing them and everything.
All right.
Hmm.
Go ahead.
The Cubs are my favorite baseball team. Were you always a Cubs fan, Tom?
I always liked the Cubs growing up. I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska. Most people there are Royals fans, and the Royals were pretty good back when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I was probably a bigger Royal fan as a kid, but I always liked I liked the Cubs. I liked Bill Buckner and Bill Madlock and those guys.
Oh yeah.
So
Me too.
But like I said earlier, when I moved here, moved to Chicago 30 something years ago, then I became a huge Cubs fan.
Who has been the greatest influence on you throughout your life?
Greatest influence in my life, my mom, my dad. In terms of business, I have to say, like, Commissioner Seelig, the former commissioner of baseball, he was really good to me.
Oh wow.
He was a good man. He he was always there, like for a lunch or whatever, to help me out when I was when I was just getting started. Yeah.
Do you have your favorite player?
Well, of course, they're all my favorite player, but when I was a fan in the '80s, I loved Andre Dawson when he came to town. He was so professional and he was so good, and he's still part of the organization, so I get to see him. Greg Maddux was always someone that I was always impressed by.
For sure.
And one of the few players that I met that I was like really like just starstruck by. But I've got to know him, and he's a great guy. On the current team, we have a lot of great players. But I think if you have to call anyone out, I think what Anthony Rizzo does for the team, but really what he does for the community is just so special.
Absolutely.
And then you have Jason Hayward, who's been doing a lot more, and he's really a good community member. Like, I appreciate the guys that give it back, and those guys really do.
Yeah, they absolutely
do. And I
do.
think there's a lot. It's very easy to find favorite players on this team because, like you said, the whole team it's like a brotherhood. I mean, the way that all the fans feel about them, and I feel the connection that they feel to every single player, I think is really special because, like you said, like Anthony Rizzo, I know was your favorite player, right?
Right.
The way that he gives back to the community, and like you say with Jay Hay, like it's just everyone, and just the energy that they all have, I think it's pretty easy to have a favorite in all of them.
If there was one message you want to tell the world, what will it be?
We're going to have a great season, and hopefully everyone will be back at Wrigley pretty soon.
Woo-woo!
It's just this whole thing's been a setback for everybody on every level, and the human cost has been horrifying, but we're going to come out of it, and baseball will be there for you when we come out of it.
Oh, good. That's an awesome message.
Really,
I love
really
it.
And sing too.
And you get to sing too, yes.
How do you meet your wife?
I met my wife in the bleachers in Wrigley Field.
Oh.
True story, on a Sunday afternoon. I remember it because it was air show weekend and because the planes were high. And I was with a group of my friends, including both my brothers and my sister. And she was with a group from college. And our groups were sat next to each other in center field bleachers. And I just started talking with her, and she was a fourth year medical student at the time. And I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. Here's a med student who's probably got a lot of stuff to worry about and a lot of sitting here in the bleachers on a Sunday afternoon, and maybe there's something there. So anyway, 25 years later, 5 kids.
That's awesome.
Talk about coming full circle.
Yeah.
Do your kids play baseball?
Yeah, I have 3 sons, 2 of which played baseball until maybe their junior year of high school. One was a soccer player, and then my daughters did more dance and went that. My oldest is 25 and my youngest is 15.
Oh.
So we have, and like I said, 3 boys and 2 girls.
That is awesome.
Nice.
All right, so Tom, right now, quickly, we are going to be wrapping up, but this is my favorite time, and we wanted to know if you would like to join us really quick. GiGi, every podcast that we do, GiGi likes to give us some tips on life. And
do you say tips?
Okay, here, I did say tips.
She said tips.
Tips!
She sings it every time. We cannot use the word TIPS because she will sing it every time that we use it.
All right, Cheech, take it away. What are your tips?
Oh, good. These are my tips about being a team player. It's important to be team player on the Cubs.
Yes, it is.
To be a good team player, you have to get along with others, work together, listen, and talk to each other, and do your best. What do you think, Tom? Can I help the coach?
I think those are great tips because you think about that, like these baseball players, they meet up in February and they are together all year long. Every plane, every bus ride, every hotel, every game, they're just together.
Yeah.
And if you aren't listening to those to your pieces of advice there, if you're not getting along, if you're not thinking like a team player, it's going to make everyone uncomfortable, and you're not going to have your best year. So that's a good list. Maybe we should put that up in the wall of the clubhouse.
That's
we'll
right.
Give that to
I like it.
give that to David.
Yes.
And if you don't do those things, they probably wouldn't even be a Cubs player,
Right.
because they would have never even made it that far, right?
Very true.
All right, so here you go, Gigi. I know you've been waiting to ask him this question so he can
Mhm.
get on with his day.
Hey, Tom, do you know one of my favorite songs? It's Go Cubs Go. Will you sing a little bit with me?
Of course, it's been too long. I haven't sang that song in a long time.
Woo woo! All right,
All right.
do we have some music to get us started?
Do we have any music?
Oh.
There it is.
Go, go Cubs Go! Hey, Chicago, what you say? The Cubs are gonna win today.
Woo!
Go, go Cubs Go! Hey, Chicago, what you say? The Cubs are gonna win today.
Woo! Yeah,
Nice.
we need to get that back.
We need it back.
We need it back bad.
Absolutely. And
Well-
I miss it.
Yeah, we all
Me
miss
too.
it. Tom, thank you so much for being with us today. And I know we had a lot of questions on a lot of different subjects. Is there anything that we missed that you want to tell us about, or anything else you want to say?
No, I just want to reiterate to congratulate you and talk and all your success and all your growth, and what an incredible organization and everything you've done, Nancy, Gigi, everybody.
Mhm.
You've just be such a special place, and I'm inspired by you guys.
Oh, Tom, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank you for sharing your something extra. This is really about inspiring people, inspiring the world, talking about Generation G. Be generous, be kind, be acceptant, make a conscious decision every single day to be Generation G. And that's really what the message of our Something Extra podcast is all about. And we know you live that life, your family lives that life, and that's why we were so excited and so honored to have you on our show. So thank you so much. We love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Cannot wait to see you back at the park. We are going to
Yeah.
be there. Gigi will be working on her song. She'll be ready to belt it out
Yep,
again.
I will.
Yes, she will.
Yes, you will.
And we are so excited. Thank you again so
Cannot
much,
wait.
Tom.
Great to be here. Nice to see everybody, and we'll see you in person soon.
Bye, Tom.
Absolutely.